Yo! What's going on Instagram? How are you guys doing? So I'm going to make a video today. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone. I just went for my morning walk and I recorded my podcast talking about this exact topic I'm about to go over with you. But I think it's going to really provide a lot of value for guys that have been in my situation, that have felt, inferior for a lot of their life and have felt like they've had trouble, getting their point across to people. They've had trouble speaking clearly. They've had trouble really speaking up and being themselves. So in this video, I want to talk about something that I've been learning about, and to be raw and real with you guys, it's something that I'm personally working on because I'm not nearly mastered this skill, but it's something that I recognize I kind of suck at and I need to improve on. So what I want to talk about in this video is your voice, your vocal tonality, and how to really speak clearly, how to speak, in a way that people are going to respect you. And again, I'm telling you this, I'm doing this honestly more for myself, just to get this information out of my head and out into the real world, to make sure that I know what the fuck I'm talking about and to really help me improve. And I think in the process, it will help a lot of other people improve as well. So vocal tonality. What is vocal tonality, right? It's basically the way that you speak, the volume, the frequency, the pitch, how high, how low, how far, how close your voice is. My best friend Alex Centeno, he'll be able to talk to you all about that. He's an actor. Check out his show, by the way. It's awesome. But I think it Unfit on Instagram. But vocal tonality. There's three main forms of vocal tonality. And again, my program's Alpha Hero teaches guys how to level up on all aspects. This is really crucial for that. But there's three forms of vocal tonality, right? It's building rapport, neutral rapport, and breaking rapport. Now, what the fuck do all three of those mean, right? So when you're building rapport, you're talking up to someone. Like you're below them, you're talking up. So an example would be like, how is your day? How are you doing today? It's nice to meet you. See how even my eyes are going up, right? You want to picture an arrow going straight up. Again, I'm getting a lot of this information off a book I just read recently called Higher Status by Jason Capital. Awesome stuff. But anyways, so building rapport is really, you're speaking up. Your vocal tonality, it's more high pitched. It's going upwards, right? So you don't really want to stay in that too often because it's gonna feel like you're inferior. I know for me, an example for me, if I'm talking to an attractive girl or a 6'5" dude that's alpha as shit, like I would have a tendency of speaking upwards because I'm intimidated. So keep that in mind. Neutral rapport. Neutral rapport is basically how I'm talking right now. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking below you. I'm not talking above you. I'm talking straight to you in a beeline arrow. Boom. So neutral rapport is where you want to stay most of the time. It subconsciously shows them that you're not higher than them, but you're not lower either. And then breaking rapport is very powerful. It's not something you want to do a lot because you're going to piss people off a lot. But breaking rapport is talking down. So an example would be like, how are you today? Where have you been? What are you doing? Like talking down, almost like they're like a peasant. And I want to go over like how often you should go into those vocal tonalities. I guess I'll go over that right now. So each vocal tonality, it has its purpose, right? You want to stay at a neutral vocal tonality for about 90% of the time. You want to, show people that you're not any higher, but you're not any lower. You're at the same level as them. And then you want to split up the other two at 5%. So you want to have some times where you are speaking up, right? You are, showing that you give a shit, right? And you also want to show people that you are alpha, that you are superior, that you are on a higher level than the most people, not to the person you're talking to, but you want to be able to show them that you are on a higher, subconscious level. So you want to every now and then break rapport. You want to every now and then talk down, not in a demeaning, an asshole way, but just show them that you are alpha, you are like higher level. So those are really the three vocal tonalities that are important that will allow you to work on your speaking. Now I want to go over three actionable steps that I'm taking personally. I just went on my walk, and it's something that I'm going to commit. I'm committing the next 3 days to really mastering this. And then I'm going to, obviously, every day after that, continue to master it. It's a concept called Kaizen. I talk about it in my program. So the first thing you can do, and it was like what I just did, the first action step you can take is take a deep breath, right? I mean, for me personally, what I would always do is I would keep talking and talking, and I would speed up the way I was talking. I wouldn't take a breath, and I would talk out of my chest, and I wouldn't be able to enunciate. Eventually, I wouldn't be able to talk anymore. So what I've learned is taking breaths when you're talking will really help. And not only that, it will make the words more efficient. So if you take a big deep breath, especially through your belly, not through your chest, but through your belly, take a big deep breath, the words just naturally get higher, right? You're able to talk a lot louder, a lot clearer when you can breathe through your stomach. So that's, again, it's going to take work. It's taking more work for me, something to stay conscious and cognizant about. The next thing you can do, there's two parts of this. First, you can correct yourself. You've seen me do that already today in this video. Self-correcting is really powerful because if you fuck up a word, you slur it, then you can just take a second, use the first step, take a breath, and correct that word. The second part of this is you can use tongue twisters, right? I'll do a couple right now, but tongue twisters are really going to help you to get to be more confident with saying hard words. Right, let me think of one right now. Whether the weather is cold or whether the weather is hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. Like, I've been practicing that one a lot, obviously. But there's a lot of different tongue twisters that you can work on that will help you to be a lot more clear when you speak. I know for me personally, one of the worst things that's happened a lot in my life is I say something and then the person I'm talking to says, "What? What'd you say?" And I know it's because I wasn't speaking clearly, I wasn't speaking loud enough, they couldn't hear me. And that's not a very good feeling. So that's something to really work on. The last thing that you can work on that will really allow you to, level up your voice and to really speak clearly is to be cognizant. Is to be cognizant of, what you are trying to portray to that person. Does that make sense? So you want to be cognizant of what rapport you're in, right? So at first this is going to be tough. It's tough for me as well, right? If you feel like you go to like a very attractive girl, or you feel like you're talking to, a higher level alpha, someone who's more has more credentials or who's taller, whatever the fuck the reason is he's an alpha, you see them and you are more likely to build rapport. You're more likely to talk up to them. So what you want to do is, if you are doing that, that's cool. That's something I do as well, is you want to be cognizant of what rapport am I in right now? What rapport am I in, right? How am I talking? What rapport am I in right now? And what you can do is, if you are talking in a higher pitched voice, if you are trying to build rapport, that's fucking cool. It doesn't make you a terrible person, doesn't make you shitty. It makes you cognizant. And what you can do is, there's no reason why, talk about creating your own reality, shout out to my tattoo, you can create your own reality. So if you are in a higher pitched voice, it's your prerogative, you're in your control to change the pitch you're talking in, right? So that is a lot of value. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I figured I would be raw with you guys. I made a podcast. I even said in the podcast, I'm not sure if I'm going to talk about this, but I decided it would be a good thing to talk about. It might help out a lot of people. It's definitely helped me out. One more bonus that I want to talk about real quickly. I know it's kind of going on really, really long, but I want to do this anyway. So what I want to talk about right now is this bonus is infrequent vocal tonality. If you notice what I just did there, I fucking yelled, right? I shouted. And now my voice is getting really low, right? And I'm changing my vocal tonalities. Again, this is something that you can work on, something that I'm personally working on. But by doing this, the mind wants to pick up on patterns, right? On vocal patterns. If you're hearing a speaker, think about like when you're in class, right? And you're listening to a professor. And that professor is just rambling on, talking about the square root of 23 times the radius of 75 plus whatever the fuck he's saying. And he's saying it in the same tonality. That is boring, right? So by switching up your vocal tonalities, switching up the volume, switching up the speed of how fast and how slow you talk, that will allow people to try and pick up your patterns more. And by allowing them to pick up your patterns more, they're going to be more inclined to listen to you. So that is the bonus. That is all I want to talk about today. make sure you take what I just said and you apply it. If this is something you're struggling with, I really say anyone that in general should use this anyways. It's definitely a good skill to have. But again, we got building rapport, neutral rapport, breaking rapport. You can focus on deep breaths. You can focus on talking clearly. You can focus on being cognizant to which rapport you are. And also, make sure you're switching up your vocal tonalities. That is the video. I will talk to you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do enjoy this content, leave me a comment down below. I'm not sure if you can even like this video, but like the video if you can. And I will talk to you guys in the next Instagram Live. I'm going to post this on Facebook as well. So, talk to you guys in the next video. Peace!